We're going to start by playing our drawing game, and to do that you need to take your sketch paper and fold it in half twice. You're going to be playing the game 4 times so that you have a chance to invent 4 different creatures. So once you've got your paper folded into fourths, you are ready to use your dice and your game sheet and begin. So I'm gonna start at the top for the body shape. I'm gonna roll my dice, and I got a 2, which means I'm gonna draw that kind of a shape for the body. I'm not gonna fill my whole rectangle because I need to have room for like head and legs and anything else. You're gonna notice that my shape doesn't always look exactly like that shape, and that is okay. You're not trying to make an exact photocopy of the shapes that you see on the game sheet. You're just trying to be inspired by them. So don't get stressed out about trying to make it look exactly right. For the head shape, I'm gonna roll, and I got a number 4, and I can put the head wherever I want. I'm gonna put it off to the side. That is the wonderful thing about making weird creatures, is there is no right or wrong way to do it. Next, I would roll for the eyes and for the nose, and then the last 2 sections say shapes to add and lines to add, and those you can add anywhere. You could use those to decorate inside the face, inside the body, or you could just use it for decoration as like arms or legs around the body. Once you finish making your first creature, then you're gonna go ahead and play the game again, starting at the top, and you're gonna fill in 3 other creatures on your paper. Once I'm done playing the game 4 times and I have my 4 sketches, I'm gonna get my watercolor paper, and then I can start drawing these creatures onto my final paper. One of the cool things about Miro's artwork is that he created drawings that filled the whole page and that had a lot of detail. So I'm thinking I'm gonna start with one of my creatures, and I'm gonna make it kind of big. And I'm also gonna make it go off the page. Anytime you have a design that goes off the page, it makes your artwork look more interesting, because the person looking at your art can imagine that your artwork is like a world that exists beyond the page of your artwork. So, and again, I'm not worried about getting it exactly the same as it is in my sketch. It's just inspiration. So each creature is going to look a little bit different every time you draw it. You could decide if you wanted to just do one creature and repeat it several times on your paper, different sizes. You could just do one creature and then fill the background with other just random shapes and lines to create an abstract background, or you could draw different creatures kind of interacting with each other, which I think is what I'm gonna do. So I'm gonna look at another creature, and you can create variety by making your creatures different sizes, and also by having them face different directions. So this creature is straight up and down, this creature is diagonal. It's gonna give my artwork more variety, which makes it more interesting to look at. If it helps you to draw it easier, you can turn your watercolor paper so that it's facing the same direction as your creature. Seeing it go the same direction might make it easier to copy. Once I'm done drawing all of the creatures, I might decide to draw a few lines or shapes that kind of fill in this space and give it a little bit more detail in the background. How you fill in your background is up to you. Just make sure that you are adding detail. So as you can see, I only picked the creatures that I ended up liking that I created when I played the game. You don't have to use every creature from your sketch paper. And for some of the creatures, I just used part of them. I didn't show the whole body. Once you're finished drawing your creatures and designing your background, it's time to trace those creatures with a Sharpie. And this is a step that you want to really take your time on, because you cannot erase Sharpie. If you make a mistake while you're drawing with Sharpie, don't stress about it. Figure out a way that you can embrace that mistake. Maybe you can turn that line into a different shape or a different part of the creature, but it's gonna be a lot easier if you take your time tracing. This is not a step to rush through. Something that's important is to always turn your paper so that your hand stays comfortable. For example, if I'm drawing this line right here, I don't want to twist my arm to try and draw that line. Instead, I'm going to turn my paper so that my hand can stay comfortable while I'm drawing. That's going to make it a lot easier to trace things with accuracy.